as well, so people can have to go. So it's like just like join mid conversation, like wait, what? So bear with me. I will mute myself for a little bit anyway, whilst I just kind of sort this out. So bear with.
Oh, we have a viewer.
Hello, viewer.
Hello. We're just waiting for the link to get sent around a little bit, and then we will get going.
What a few days it's been on the internet.
Yeah, if anyone joins, we're just trying to get the link around, and then hopefully.
One thing about doing this on my phone is that if I want to like do anything on my screen, I reach forward and it's like, hello, would you like to see my hand?
I always try and do streams off my laptop because it's just. I think I did the semi-final ones off my phone because my laptop was like broke during Eurovision week. Our team knows all about that.
Yeah.
Completely down.
Usually I would do them on my laptop, but I literally walked in my house half an hour ago and made food, and I couldn't be bothered to unpack my laptop because I've been on a training course for the last 3 days.
Oh wow.
So
Rory, have you got that link around now?
Yeah, I'm starting to send it around now so we can make a bit of a start.
Amazing.
Okay, so hello, anybody that's watching now or watching in the future. This is our latest live stream. Today we are going to be talking about the UK hosting Eurovision, which everybody on this stream lives in the UK, so we are super excited. The contest. I think I'm really glad that the contest will have Ukrainian elements. Like, I'm glad that the EBU are deciding to work with the BBC and UAPBC to make the contest a joint contest, which is something that's quite interesting. It's something we've never seen before, and I'm really excited to see how it's all pulled off. Anyway, I feel like the main topic of conversation today is about host cities and which city within the UK would we like to see host. Today the bidding opened for Eurovision 2023. Oh, we have someone that said hello Adam.
Hello.
Hi.
And we have like our question is just who should host the contest. I think first off is giving a round of cities who have expressed an interest in hosting the contest, just so Sam Ryder, Adam, yeah, that is a valid point. That is Sam. We're just talking about Sam Ryder's Instagram post where he said it's Ukraine's party, but it's at our house, which sums it up. Yeah, Sam Ryder summed it up better than anyone ever could have done, I think.
What a 10 out of 10 human being, honestly.
He's such a
like if you like, I think one of my friends tweeted the other day, if you don't like Sam Ryder as a person, that's a red flag in itself.
It's a marinara flag if anyone reads AITA as religiously as I do.
Like, it's a shame that Ukraine can't host Eurovision. We wish it was all we wish that could happen and it was all under better circumstances. And I hope in like the near future Ukraine get a chance to host.
Definitely.
Like, they win again pretty soon and they get a chance to like just host a contest.
I feel like as far as outside of Ukraine being able to host, this is about the most ideal scenario we could hope for from what they've said. So it's basically hoping that it's going to come into reality in terms of working with UAPBC, having that distinct Ukrainian element to it. The contest celebrating Ukraine getting an automatic qualifier spot. This is everything I think we could have hoped for outside of Ukraine hosting the contest themselves. Like, so I'm super happy so far.
If the EBU hadn't like said that is what they were doing, I feel like that is something that the fans, like the Eurovision fans, would have demanded anyway.
Definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And what I think is a really good thing is that, we also know that the UK is sort of well versed in sort of helping to actually help other countries, because it's happened on several other occasions in the past. But obviously, this is the first time in, I think, almost 40 years or so that it was actually happening. So, it's bringing it into a new level, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like maybe we should go over some of the cities that have expressed an interest in hosting that are within the UK, and just talk about cities that we would like to see it be hosted in, and maybe talk about some of our like home cities as well, because I think we've all lived in cities that have expressed an interest. So the cities that have expressed an interest are Glasgow, Manchester, which I think are the main two. And then after that, it's Leeds, Birmingham, Cardiff, Aberdeen, Liverpool, Brighton, London, Newcastle, Nottingham, Sheffield, Belfast, Edinburgh, Wolverhampton, and Bristol.
Yeah, it sounds about most of them. It's quite a lot, isn't there?
There is a lot. There's only a couple where I'm like straight away, no, not happening. And that's Wolverhampton and Sheffield. I just think they're a little bit small. But
I might also throw maybe Sunderland in there as well. As much as it pains Rosie probably to say, but
not at all. For me with Sunderland, it's kind of a case of why not just host in Newcastle? Like, Newcastle is right there. You literally have a linked system of transport. Like, Newcastle and Sunderland have the Tyne and Wear Metro, which links them together, and Newcastle has a far more well-equipped arena. The city itself is bigger. It's got the airport. Quite frankly, it's nicer. So I would sort of rule Sunderland out just because I can't see a point hosting there when Newcastle's right round the corner.
Yeah.
I feel like something like that could be very, very similarly said for Leeds. Leeds and Manchester are very close, are very near each other. And Leeds, it just does not have the transport system that Manchester has. And I think
it does have an airport.
It does have an airport, but it's more the transport within the city, which is not great. As someone who lives in Leeds, I can vouch for it's not great. Things like, I think I was speaking to Helen on our previous video saying that if Leeds wanted to host, things in regards to public transport would need to change drastically in the next year. Like, we don't have like buses after. You would struggle to get a bus after 8 o'clock, so it means it would be a struggle like after the shows if you like and it would be a nightmare. As someone that lives here, and I know a lot of the Eurovision fans on Twitter are like, it's something that they want to see. It's just not something I can see happening, especially with Manchester being so close as well.
On the plus side, they do also have, though, some very strong support from last year's Czech representatives, We Are Domi. They did post on Twitter, I think it was yesterday or so, that they wanted to see it in Leeds. So, not to say that that would influence anything, of course, but given that they sort of met in Leeds and, they're very well versed in what Leeds is like, maybe they might kind of help to consider things.
I think the thing that goes in its favour is that in 2023 we are going to be the city of culture.
Ooh.
All right.
And that is something that could go in our favour, but again, I just think if you want to host it in Leeds, just host it in Manchester. It'd be very similar. Obviously, I don't know. I feel like I'm going off the cuff here for my choice of host city, but I would go Birmingham. It's so just because it's so central and it's a big city. Yes, they've hosted before, but I feel like it's a way that you'd almost keep everyone happy. You'd keep people in the north happy. You keep people in the south happy. Everyone would round about have to do very similar traveling distances, and I feel like it'd be the happy medium for us in the UK would be to have it in Birmingham, but that's more on a travel wise. I think on an atmosphere wise, I feel like Newcastle would be fun.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have fun with it. They would have a party with it, and they would just I think people in Newcastle love life.
Yeah. Definitely.
I feel that's the vibe. I don't know if that's the vibe we should go for, but it's kind of the vibe I would want to see from a UK hosted Eurovision, just a bit.
A little bit of life, sort of feeling that, oh yes, they're kind of, they actually want to host it, you know?
Yeah.
And they're excited.
And I feel like, from like cities like Newcastle or Liverpool, you would get that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's kind of interesting because, I mean, I'm based in Manchester, obviously, so this is kind of, it's to hear the kind of buzz about Eurovision here is very, like, weird. Like, I don't know if it's been the same for you guys, because you guys are more towards sort of Leeds way, but
I'm literally halfway between both places.
Yeah, like, but like, the amount of people that have kind of like, because not to toot my own horn or anything, but like, you know, I'm in the circles of Eurovision here, so like, you know, it's not bad. But genuinely, people are asking me, like, even like friends who aren't even in like locals, basically, even they've been like, oh my god, like, how weird would it be if Manchester hosted Eurovision? And like, maybe this is just me being biased, but I genuinely feel like Manchester is probably the best bet, maybe, because obviously it's this. This is going to cause some debate now within like anyone who's from the UK. It's the second city. Birmingham isn't the second city, but Manchester practically is. Let's be honest here. And you know, they've got the legacy, they've got the history of the music in here. They have literally the second largest indoor arena in Europe right here in the city. And I don't see why that wouldn't go well in its favor. Of course, you know, we have had, you know, it's the only major UK city that hasn't hosted it. Sorry, major English city that hasn't hosted it, because, you know, we have had London host it, we've had Birmingham host it. Manchester is the only one that hasn't managed to have it in England yet. And I don't know. I just, you know, we're kind of in the going through at the moment where we're going for the sort of second cities of the country. For example, you know, with the Netherlands hosting in 2020/2021, it was in Rotterdam, which was the second city. Turin, I think, is like the fourth or fifth largest city or so. So again, it's still like very strong. I don't see why Manchester couldn't be that. Glasgow, on the other hand, yeah, like, I can see why people would want to have it in Glasgow, kind of for the sake of, oh, it's the same venue as the Eurovision film, woo, you know. But saying that, I mean, obviously, you know, it does have its own culture. It has, you know, it's lovely little subway. If you've ever been to Glasgow, it's such a cute little subway. It doesn't go anywhere. It just goes in a little circle, and there's one that goes on one direction, and the other one just goes in the other direction, and it's just so nice. But they have, you know, again, they have their culture there. They have a definitely like good identifying way of life there, which is very like, you know, very distinct from Edinburgh or London or anything like that. And yeah, like even, yeah, Adam, yeah, definitely the Hydro in Glasgow is a fantastic venue. Yeah, I've been there in 2019 to see Björk, and she, like, the whole arena was phenomenal, genuinely. It's so lovely. And it is also kind of got some Eurovision history tied to it as well, because the I think it was the not the Hydro, it was like the Armadillo or stuff. They actually hosted the Eurovision Dance Contest in 2008. So that in itself shows that, you know, like the complex experienced in hosting. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a fight definitely between those two.
Yeah. Adam actually just mentioned the Armadillo, saying it would be a good place to use that for like the press and the media because it's next door.
Yeah. And it's literally right across, like how you said, yeah, it's definitely across the road, like on the other side of the river, which is literally only like it's connected by a footbridge anyway to literally the BBC in Scotland, all the major sort of broadcasters basically in Scotland. So, you know, it's from a media standpoint, it's practically the best bet that they've got.
Adam also made some comments about Cardiff, saying that basically he read that Ed Sheeran's concert had 15-mile queues and they blamed the Ed Sheeran concert had been blamed for 15-mile long queues on the M4 from the Severn Bridge into Wales. So they were saying Eurovision for Cardiff was a no.
I mean, that's a bit bad.
Nobody wants to be dealing with that.
That's some Brexit level thing, that is.
I think I really would like to see it at some point held in both Cardiff and in Belfast as well. I think having that representation across sort of the 4 nations of the UK is a really awesome idea, and I think both of them, okay, I've never been to Belfast, but from what I've heard from other people, and I have been to Cardiff and I love the city, so I think both would make great host locations. Selfishly, I'm wanting Manchester or Leeds because I wouldn't even need to leave my house. I wouldn't even need to get a hotel for the entire time. I would literally be able to stay in my house. And I think both cities are fantastic places.
I feel like I feel like the fandom's kind of like reduced itself to saying it'll be Glasgow or Manchester. If it's not, it will be Leeds. And it's like so they're the 3 that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, I think I absolutely get what you're saying in terms of the public transport in Leeds. I think the one thing with that, again, it's complete speculation, but the West Yorkshire Mayor, Tracy Brabin, is really keen to actually make transport better in the area. And I think that's something that she's really been quite vocal about. So I'd hope that she would use it as an opportunity to do that if they did end up getting the contest. At the same time, I can't guarantee that that's going to happen. And so obviously it's sort of speculation. And yeah, in terms of Manchester, the transport's great. The tram system is stunning. I was riding on it today, about 2 hours ago.
I didn't know you were in Manchester. You should have said hi.
I was passing through on my way back from Leamington Spa, and then because I had to get a coach from there to Manchester because of the train strikes, and then get the tram, and then get 2 buses home. Yay!
I feel so sorry for you.
But yeah, Manchester's a fantastic city. I think the other thing with Manchester, and again, I don't know how this works for other cities, so I'm only saying this because I know it for Manchester, and it may well be the case for other places as well, is Manchester in the Northwest has a very strong Ukrainian and Eastern European community. So my partner's family is Ukrainian. My partner's mum is Ukrainian, and her parents all moved from Ukraine to, they moved to Preston and then to Manchester. And so I know that there is a very strong sort of community there from Ukraine. And I think acknowledging that as part of the hosting, I think would be a really lovely thing to do. I think it would be really nice to have the contest in a place with really strong links to Ukraine. And I know that Manchester has those. Like I said, I don't know if other host cities do, and I'd love it if they did. I think it would be great. But yeah, I just know that Manchester does have those. And yeah, I would really, really love to see that as part of the hosting considerations.
Yeah, I think actually the BBC did say that they would be striving towards having it in a place with strong Ukrainian links. And definitely within the UK, and at least especially within the north, Manchester is the city, like the center for that. It does also have like a strong like sort of Slavic community as well. It does also have like people obviously from Poland, there's also a strong Belarusian community as well in the northwest as well, which it kind of goes a bit under the radar, I guess. But so there is a strong sort of Slavic center and community in the area. So definitely would be sort of a good, strong contention, really.
I think just a couple of other things with Manchester as well. Canal Street would make a fucking stunning set of Euro clubs.
Literally.
Like, what a great set of venues that would be. I also think that there would be something quite special about holding it in Manchester Arena as well, given the history that has, especially with the attacks 5 years ago. I think it would be really special to hold something like that there. My one worry with Manchester, and I have been thinking about this and I haven't found a solution that's ideal yet. I don't know where we'd put the Euro Village.
I have a great suggestion.
Do you have a solution?
I was going to say, because currently, right now, Piccadilly Gardens is currently being used as the fan party area for the Euros. And pretty much, so if you've ever been to Manchester, Manchester is terribly designed, let's just put it that way. But the sort of center area, this main square, which is called Piccadilly Gardens, it's, you know, it usually is like a fountain area with kind of like statues, but then a lot of greenery as well. It's all very pedestrianized as well, which is a good thing. Since about August last year, they have basically just like built on top of the fountains and stuff. So basically removing the thing for it to kind of cause a problem. And so instead now I think Eurovillage would probably best put in Piccadilly Gardens, because I could see like big screens in the area, you know, like you've got the kind of grounds outside for it too, you know, you've got the grass area. So definitely, like, I would say Piccadilly Gardens would be the very strong place for a Eurovillage. And if it was to be too small, you could almost split it up and have it in the other side of the city in, for example, Cathedral Gardens, which is also next to the city. It's next to like one of the biggest sort of train stations in the city, as well as the arena itself. Now it's a bit more uneven, but they do regularly have very like large gatherings there. So for example, like they sometimes host things to do with the Manchester International Festival that usually kind of takes place around this time. So you can spread it across different areas, I guess, which can make it a more of like a city-wide celebration, as opposed to concentrating it in this just one little area. So, but that's just me. So, so I'm just reading Adam's comments about Sadiq Khan on London hosting. So Sadiq Khan said, having a Eurovision in London where we've got thousands of members of the Ukrainian origin and thousands of people coming from Ukraine who fled Ukraine would be a great way for us to help the Ukrainian party in London as a party. Now, would you want it to be like, you know, again, it is a very big thing to have, like, again, those Ukrainian roots and stuff, but, you know, I guess to sort of respect Ukraine, would you want it to be a party, or would you want it to be a little bit more solemn? I guess that's kind of another thing that we have to kind of take into consideration when we're hosting this.
I think it's an interesting one, because I think it's going to permeate the whole show, and I think it's hard to say how is most appropriate to do that, because we don't know what the situation in Ukraine is going to be like nearer the time. If Ukraine hopefully is peaceful and successful in defeating the invasion and everything, then I think party atmosphere is completely sort of, I mean, obviously there would still be a sort of somberness to it because of everything that's happened, but I think a party atmosphere would be sort of not the entire thing, but I think it would fit. Whereas if there is still conflict going on, I think there is absolutely a balance that needs to be gotten. And I think, again, it's quite difficult to say because it's different with them having won. I think this year, Italy and Turin got the balance very well. I think they acknowledged it in ways that were appropriate. I think the activities that went on outside the actual live shows, so for example, in the village, were incredible. There was some really, really fantastic stuff going on there that really honoured and acknowledged Ukraine as part of that. And I think that sort of message of peace more generally, but obviously it is kind of targeted, was very there in all of the shows. It's difficult to say, and I wouldn't rule that out. I wouldn't say definitely no party for anybody. We are anti-Russia 2012. Party for nobody. I just think that I think it's something that would need to be figured out nearer the time, and I honestly think that the collaboration between the BBC and UAPBC will really help to strike that balance, because I think UAPBC will sort of know exactly what the right tone is, and I think that will be good. I don't have any issue with London as a host venue. I just think we've got so many great options in this country, and London's had it a few times before. And so if it is in London, it's fine. I don't mind it being in London. It's just look at all these options you've got. Look at all these incredible cities across the UK who are ready and willing to host and to bring the contest somewhere it hasn't been before.
Yeah, definitely. What do you make of them, Jazzy?
I would not want London. I feel like we've been to London so many times. We don't need to go again. Like,
yeah.
Maybe it's the northerner in me that's like, no London. Like,
death to all of them.
they get everything. No, you're not taking Eurovision. But they do get everything.
They did have their crack of the whip, to be fair, a lot of the time in the 1970s, you know. So there is justification for them to host it, obviously, because, you know, it's been nearly 40, 50 years or so since London last hosted it. So that, you know, things have changed obviously in London, but also at the same time, the UK is like such a vibrant country of culture in different ways. You know, like every different city that you go to is going to be different. Like Liverpool is nowhere the same as Manchester, even though they're only like an hour away from each other. Birmingham and Manchester completely different. Birmingham and London completely different. Coventry and Birmingham, they might be a bit similar, but that's beside the point. But genuinely,
did you talk of it being hosted in Coventry?
I think there was someone that had thrown an idea out, but I think it's been quickly quashed. So yeah.
Why hasn't Wolverhampton been quashed yet?
I guess Wolverhampton are just so passionate.
They're so passionate about that One Direction reunion.
Do they even want to reunite?
No.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those it's like an overbearing mother that's just like, you're gonna get back together, it's gonna be fine, and he's just like, no, we're not doing that. What do you want about?
No.
Oh dear. Oh yeah, so Adam's just said another thing here. Do you think they will try to go for the biggest venue they can get, or would it possibly a smaller venue get a chance? Now,
too big, and you risk not filling it for the family shows, especially as there's I think especially in the UK, there's not many family shows, especially during the week.
Yeah.
So I think you don't see it. I don't know if it's the same in other countries, because in this country, everyone nobody goes to shows or anything like that during the week, during the day. Literally no one. So I feel like for that reason, they may go for a smaller venue. It's just not something that happens in the UK. People do not go to shows, very rarely go to shows during the day, and I do think that could be something that may make them go for a smaller venue. Because they want to fill it. They don't want the atmosphere to just be non-existent. Even though they're probably family shows, I guess the press still see them.
See, this is also bringing in something else that I've been seeing across different fan groups, I guess, is the push from at least locals to try and get tickets now.
Yeah.
And there's been a massive thing of like Eurovision fans that have had to like basically step in and say it's very unlikely that you will get tickets. There probably will be some, obviously, for the jury shows and maybe for the family shows as well. But, you know, it's striking the balance of, do they want full capacity, or are they just trying to do it because they're trying to make some money off of it? And, you know, that is something that they should consider, but I don't think it should be the be all and end all. So I think like if they just kind of carry on with what the sort of requirements they've been doing recently, you know, like an arena that can accommodate between 10 and 20,000 people, I think that's manageable, I think. I don't know.
That's a nice size. I think I thought the Pala Alpitour was a really nice size. That's the only venue I've been to, venue I've been to actually hosting Eurovision at the time, and I thought it was nice. It wasn't entirely full for every show I was at, but it was reasonably full. The atmosphere was great. I was very happy with it in terms of the size of the place. And I think something around that sort of size would be a fairly sensible option.
Like, I've heard this is a drawback for Manchester because the arena in Manchester has 21,000 capacity, and I've heard people say that's too big.
In a way, like,
but I've been saying this. Like, you're gonna have your green room, you're gonna have the stage being built. You're going to lose at least 5,000 of those seats.
Yeah, definitely,
straight away.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's as big a drawback as people think it is. It might be for the jury shows. For the jury shows, it might be. And
yeah, I guess it's just because I guess they're trying to not go back to the days of like 2009 to 2012, where they were literally like it was about 50,000 people in a show. Because I went to Düsseldorf in 2011, and that was, again, a capacity of about 36,000 people. And even in the semifinals, like, we were given tickets to the semifinals for €5 each, because they were so, like, because it was so empty up in like the higher levels. Even like with literally where we sat was like straight ahead of the venue, like of the stage. So we got, you know, literally like the best view possible. And even then, there was still thousands of seats that were left vacant. So they're trying to not do that, but then also at the same time, you know, go for a place that's so small that like it demand outsell supply. So yeah, it's a hard one, to be honest. But I feel like
looking at comparison, I've got the Hydro up. It's 14,300.
Okay,
I do think that would be better. And that's literally just from a capacity point of view. It's not from a city point of view. It's just looking at the capacity that both these have. Although, again, I know you lose about 5,000 through the green room, and then it knocks you down to about 9,000 capacity. Would that be too small?
I guess maybe that. Yeah. I guess when you're kind of thinking of it, maybe like if you're trying to go for the biggest arena possible, I think that maybe the idea that you're trying to like maybe not try and get the O2 arena in London, for example, because that is ridiculously massive. Like,
they'd never fill it.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that would happen. So I think, like trying to strike an indoor arena that is the best way if possible. I mean, this is why it would be good for Leeds, I guess, because Leeds like literally they built the first concert-focused arena in the UK, which is the first direct arena. So it was literally purpose-built for concerts, as opposed to sports and all these other kind of like events and things. So that's like something to go in its favor, because it means it's more malleable. It's like, you know, you can kind of work around things a little bit easier. So maybe that might be something good.
I think all three options have their pros and cons.
Definitely.
Let's be honest, all three do. Maybe it's like the pessimist in me that just doesn't see it happening. Like, I see it going to Manchester or Glasgow. I know the talks of Leeds have only gone up in the last week or so. But I guess the same thing happened with Turin. We weren't really talking about Turin until this point.
True, yeah.
And that's why.
Because last year it was Milan, Rome, and at one point collaborating with San Marino.
Yeah.
So, and then Turin just kind of came out of nowhere and was like, oh, here we go.
They almost went to
and I think another thing, again, like, I know I'm trying to speak really negative, is Leeds too similar to Turin in the way that it's the 4th or 5th city in the country rather than it's been the 2nd or the 3rd. Is it too similar? And like, are we really wanting to go for that vibe again? But I guess if you're wanting a low-key show, because if say things in Ukraine haven't improved and wanting a low-key show, maybe it is the way to go. Not have it in a city that's too like that has like this big like party culture, because we certainly don't. We're very sleepy, we're very lazy.
Really speaking well of Leeds, I must say.
No.
No, it's fine.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I just think compared to the other two, it's more of a sleeper than the other two would be. And if you're wanting something more low key,
that's definitely a place to go.
It would be a place to go.
Yeah. I'm just yeah.
I mean, if you want something that's more low-key, you probably want to go where Tom Hiddleston was born.
Where's that?
I don't know. I'm making a Marvel joke.
That over my head.
let me have a look and see where Tom Hiddleston was actually born. London.
It might have been one of those places. Like, he is British, isn't he?
Yeah. He's in London though, so it's not great. Yeah. But I guess, it's also kind of interesting to kind of also just look at like some other cities that haven't necessarily like given much else in the way of like, they've submitted their interest, but they've not maybe specifically come up with a venue or so. So yeah, we talked about Belfast. Like, Belfast obviously would be very nice to have, but I think there's kind of been a bit of a general consensus that Belfast shouldn't be considered, given, for example, the political situation. Obviously, many people might think that it's a bit insensitive to have it in Belfast, given that, you know, a large swathe of the population doesn't consider themselves to be British. But we should probably leave. That is a can of worms that we're going to leave for another episode or another time, so it'll be fine. Yeah, Brighton obviously is also one that has hosted Eurovision before. However, have they got a venue that is kind of up to EBU standards? I don't think so.
I know the Wikipedia article for Eurovision 2023 does have a list of basically every eligible venue in the UK. I'm just on my phone, so I can't get it up without freezing my screen or turning my video off. So someone else may need to do that.
Let me have a look. Yes. It currently says TBD.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I think the one thing for Brighton, I think I mentioned this in the last video that we did, I would love it. I would love it at the seaside. Would love it. But then again, if it did happen, what's the bet in the weather would be absolutely crap for the whole week?
Yes. I mean, if that's not British weather, though, that's Britishness in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know?
Have it all. Let's all have it in Brighton. We'll all go to the seaside for a week. It'll be lovely.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Imagine the fucking postcards you'd get from the artists.
Just walking along the Pebble Beach, and then it just absolutely chucks it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. You know. Yeah. So Brighton might be a bit harder.
Apparently, there's Adam just said there's been a bid from Scarborough Council.
I really hope that the BBC does not subject the world to Scarborough. You know, where would it go?
Well, they'd hold it at Scarborough Fair, of course, with parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Apparently, they're suggesting the open air theatre. It has 8,000 capacity.
Well, if it's doing out in the open. Yeah, I mean, Denmark did try to do that in 2014. There was the city of Horsens was hoping to do it inside a disused prison, but basically like in the courtyard parts of it, and that was not going to go. That went down like a lead balloon. Let's just put it that way. As in the
Eurovision
same,
said ACAB.
yeah, in the same way that Berlin almost tried to host Eurovision 2011 in a giant tent in the hangars in Berlin airport. So, yeah,
Choices were made.
Choices are definitely being made. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Also, I completely forgot as well in the Wikipedia list, Aberdeen. Aberdeen has tried to throw in they've expressed their interest, and they did say that they would have a venue, which is PJ and Live, or P&J Live, should I say? And it's got a capacity of roughly about 10,260. That's if everyone is all seated. So it does meet EBU requirements, but could people be bothered to travel so far north, basically?
So I've never been to Aberdeen. I know very little about the city, but my one issue is that I keep reading it as the PB&J Arena. So I'm not going to be able to take it seriously if it's hosted there.
Yeah. It's not, it doesn't seem great, to be fair, but yeah, I think...
I mean, I'm up for going, but...
Yeah, I think its major downfall, though, is just how far north it is. And, like Aberdeen does have an airport, of course, but it's not exactly like Manchester Airport or Leeds Airport, you know, like it's more of a regional airport as opposed to, like, a really international airport. So... it would alienate itself, kind of, which doesn't help things. So that might not be great. Let me just have a look. So we've done, Aberdeen, Belfast, Birmingham. Birmingham have now come out saying that they will have the Resorts World Arena, which is got 15,685 of a capacity. So it is within EBU standards, and I don't. It looks like it's quite far out though, so I'm not too sure where. Like, again, how easily accessible it is. It's kind of halfway. Yeah, it's kind of in the middle between Birmingham and Coventry, basically.
The Birmingham, again, it's got a pretty good public transport system, so hopefully there is something that does go out that way.
Maybe, potentially. That'd be interesting.
Like, I think they've also got a sort of tram metro-y type system. So yeah, and it does reach fairly wide out into the suburbs. So
well, that would be helpful, I guess.
Yeah.
Bristol, right? So I wrote an article about Bristol recently. So the Bristol venue, it has yet to be built.
Oh.
They're planning on having it in the Brabazon hangars, or the Brobazan hangars or so, but it's going to be the site of a future arena, the YTL arena. It's not broken ground yet, as far as I know, or it's currently in the middle of being constructed. So they did say that they could make a custom built Eurovision. That's what the Mayor of London said. Not the Mayor of London, Mayor of Bristol said in his sort of campaign video. What is it like? It feels very Baku 2012 though, doesn't it?
Like, that's ambitious.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might be able to get it done by next April, but dare to dream, I guess.
Like, have it done, have it ready, and then have to like totally rebuild it for the Eurovision stage.
Literally. Or like, yeah, building bridges and building Eurovision at the same time.
And building stages and building arenas.
There you go. You know,
building arenas.
If Bristol gets it, that should be the slogan. It's a neutral thing, doesn't represent anything in particular. It's just, this is what we're doing. And then the postcards are then just them building little scale models of the arena that they're about to perform in. That would be great.
They have to build it all out of things that represent their country, like the flags in 2014. So, like, Italy has to bake it out of pizza, and France has to, like, knock down the Eiffel Tower and rebuild it out of the fragments.
I will say, 2014 postcards were up there. They were up there with 2009, and I was still die on that hill. And I've said it on multiple podcasts, and I will continue to say it. 2009 postcards deserve more love. And that's on period T. Anyway, swiftly moving on. We've got Cardiff. Now, obviously, we said about Cardiff that, it's a bit not great in terms of transport, but then they've come all guns blazing with the Principality Stadium, which is the largest roofed stadium in Europe and the third largest in the world with a capacity of 74,000 people.
No.
Do you think it's viable?
and the Cardiff Motorpoint Arena is not viable either because it only has a 5,000 capacity.
Oh, that's not
wow. That's a bit of a disparity going on.
I guess it's a sign of Wales. It's just like you just go all or nothing. That's it.
Yeah.
It's either 74,000 or 1,000 because you're going to need half the seats.
Literally. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I would like to see it in Wales. Like, there's been quite a lot of Welsh representation, especially recently. So it would be nice to see.
They would have to build another arena.
Yeah.
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 Or
they'd have to like. Is there any way you could make the Principality smaller?
Unless you use like half of the stadium only.
Which is possible.
I mean, they've done that for Junior Eurovision before.
True. But it's different with Junior Eurovision because Junior Eurovision really isn't as popular as the adult thing, is it?
I mean, are you going to get 74,000 people in an arena?
Well, that's true. I think that.
I mean, the tickets would be really cheap.
To be fair, that, and it would also finally get to have the locals. Like, it would have both locals and Eurovision fans happy because everyone gets a ticket. It's fine.
Everyone gets to go.
Yeah. But again, it would also be really struggling to fill jury shows and family shows. It probably would make more of a loss than it would actually make a profit. Because let's be honest here, this is also a show. We have to talk economics on this at the same time. So, not great. But
sorry, I feel sorry. Sorry, Wales. That
we're being
so negative on.
We do want it there. Just please build a slightly more reasonable sized arena.
Yeah, where's Swansea or like
quite.
Where are they? Why aren't they coming up yet?
I have one big rule though. If it's ever hosted in Wales, the UK song must be in Welsh.
Oh. That would be interesting.
I mean, it's been overdue by about 66 years for us to sing something not in English. So,
God forbid.
Like, we need it.
Yeah.
I think there has to be a song in Welsh at some point. It just has to happen.
See, it's literally like the second most spoken language of the UK, like in terms of like heritage languages, if you know what I mean. Like, from the local area, because Scots Gaelic is also kind of dying out as well. But it would be nice to have something in Scots Gaelic as well as Ulster Scots as well. That would also be kind of nice. But as we go down the list, it becomes increasingly unlikely. So
Cornish.
Don't know.
Manx.
Where Isle of Man needs to declare independence and enter in its own right because it deserves it.
Yeah.
Everyone would love that flag. It would be great.
The flag is one of the greatest things to exist.
A Eurovision village on the Isle of Man.
It would probably have the entire village of it would flood the whole island.
Exactly. Eurovision. It would literally be Eurovision Island. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. And to be fair to them, the capital of the Isle of Man, Douglas, does actually have a little borough called Little Switzerland.
Oh my God!
Have it in Little Switzerland, incredibly neutral, and it'd be fine. There you go.
The bid is writing itself.
Literally. We should, we will launch the bid for the Isle of Man. I think that's what we're going to do now. I love it. Oh, God. Right, Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the next one. They've not come out with a venue just yet, but possibility?
I mean, I love Edinburgh. I will take any excuse to go to Edinburgh. I think the venue is the biggest sort of concern with them. I'm not sure if they've got anywhere that is a viable space to host it. Otherwise, I love the place and I will gladly go back whenever I have an excuse, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I've never been to Edinburgh. Ever.
It's really nice.
Gorgeous.
It's really lovely. I went once because I was doing some filming for my dissertation, and you know, it was, yes, I was lopping literal camera equipment up and down the Royal Mile, and you know what? And I had to do it up Colton Hill as well.
Ooh.
And like, for those of you who don't know what Colton Hill is like, it's like the steepest hill you can imagine. It's like at a gradient of like that. And so, you know, me trying to lop up like heavy camera equipment and like whilst trying to be really smartly dressed at the same time, I was dying. And then whilst I was up there, the heavens opened. So I was like, you could not have made it up, genuinely. But it was great. I loved it. So then genuinely, I would be okay with Edinburgh hosting because they're incredibly lovely over there. So just a question of where would they host it? Because maybe that might be the reason why at the Eurovision movie they kind of said Edinburgh, but then they filmed it. Because maybe Edinburgh just doesn't have a suitable venue, which is kind of sad when you think about it. But yeah.
And they have hosted before as well.
Yeah. Back in, was it 1972?
I couldn't tell you the year off the top of my head.
It's in the 1970s, I know that, but
I mean, the shape of the contest has changed so much since then that just the requirements for a venue are wildly different. But yeah, I mean, if Edinburgh does have a venue, A, I want to know it exists, and B, I would love to host it there. I just love the place.
It's so beautiful, genuinely. And at least, you know, there are a few people who are up in Scotland as well who would sort of happily give us the tour as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yes, we've already spoken about Glasgow. We've also already spoken about Leeds in depth. The next one that we've not really spoken about is Liverpool. Now, that would be an interesting one. Liverpool has got they've got the arena that is the M&S Bank Arena, I think. And it's right on the waterfront, and it's got the capacity for about 10,000 people or so, I think. So it just meets it. I don't mind Liverpool. It's not a bad shout. But
when I hear 10,000 capacity, all I think about is that Tel Aviv arena that looked like a Tesco Express. That's all I think about. So that puts me off straight away.
Yeah. I've just looked it up properly. It's 11,000, so you can take that. It's fine. It's fine. It's completely different.
Like, yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
No, it was because the arena in Tel Aviv, which was I think a very similar size, when it was emptied before they like set up the stage, it literally looked like the inside of a Tesco or an Asda Express. Not. And my worry for Liverpool is they would get the same memes.
Maybe.
Like.
Yeah. But to be fair to them, yeah, like it's like it's a fairly like it feels small, but it's not actually when you're in there. Because I went there once to see Russell Howard, really good comedian. I really enjoyed it. He was a really good guy. But yeah, so they were able to, you know, they maximized the stage and like the sort of the arena in the best way possible, which did help things really. So, and it does have that going for it. And because it's also out on the sort of the seafront, you also have the Ferris wheel that's kind of in the area too. You know, like it can provide itself as a good place for a Eurovillage as well, which isn't too far away. I'm not sure how great it would be for press though, and sort of, you know, sort of press centers, because again, they're trying really hard to not overpopulate the local kind of area with too many things because it's so iconic and stuff. But it does definitely have like a really good association with with music. You know, the Beatles have come there, Cilla Black. I'm trying to think of any other people.
The Beatles.
Yeah. Well, the Beatles and Cilla Black are kind of the only two people that are, like, the only two acts that have kind of maybe been really big there. Unless you count Rebecca Ferguson, but that was like X Factor 2010, so I don't know how well you kind of do that.
I mean, Cheryl Cole. Oh no, is she Geordie?
She's Geordie.
Oh my god,
I'm
so confused at strong northern accents.
So, yeah, not great, but yeah, they do have the capacity though that they could have, you know, Eurovillage, and then like obviously you've also got a great nightlife there as well, so you couldn't have like a Euro club there. But yeah, no, it was good. So yeah, we'll see if they might be able to do it. It kind of was one of those places that kind of took off, like it was spoke about really like positively at first, and then kind of it's tailed off after, which is a bit strange. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they kind of make the long list, I guess.
I saw the Eurovision odds thing. There was a poll that came up the way Eurovision fans voted, and Liverpool was the most popular.
Oh, interesting.
That would be interesting.
I will post it in our chat because I can't remember where it was on the Eurovision World, the site that I use to write pretty much every single article ever.
Yeah.
It's on Eurovision World. I'll send a picture of it to the chat, to our chat now. View results. I'm not voting.
Well, whilst you're doing that, we can move on to the next one. So we already talked about London. They've not specifically said which city would host it or which venue would host it, but it would be interesting. They did say they said that the South Bank Centre, which hosted Eurovision 1960, is interested in doing it again. I don't think that's going to happen.
Is it big enough?
I don't think so. It's got a thing for about, where is it? What's it say? It doesn't even have a capacity on its Wikipedia page. So I would probably say that's a no.
Fair.
Yeah. But then, yeah, so we also have the Manchester one as well. Now, obviously, Manchester is also constructing, again, another indoor arena, which is going to be right next to the Etihad Stadium. But it is due to be completed in 2023, but it won't be ready in time for Eurovision. So basically, we're kind of just discounting it. So really, it's really only just the AO Arena or the Manchester Arena as to what it would be called, obviously, because once a host venue basically gets selected, it has to strip itself of all of its kind of sponsors for the time that it's being used. So it would just be called Manchester Arena for the meantime.
Wouldn't there be a big issue with that though? Like for crowd capacity, say that Manchester City is still in the Champions League, and would it just like get completely wouldn't the area just get completely rammed?
Well, that too, but I mean, because the arena would not be built in time for Eurovision, I'd say.
Wouldn't I thought they said it would be done.
No, it will be done by 2023, but it'll be done it won't be able to be.
Isn't this the Co-op Arena?
July.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be. No, I thought they said they would have done it, but
no. Basically, because it's currently only about like a quarter of it has properly been built now already so far, and we're in July of 2022. Like they want to get their skates on,
so they have no chance of getting it finished, and they have no chance of hosting it anyway.
No, so it's literally only just the arena itself, which is fair enough. Right, Newcastle, should we be saying? Yeah, so they also haven't really come up with one yet, but the most likely one would be the Utilita Arena in Newcastle, which does have a seating capacity of about 10,000, 11,000 people. So again, does meet the EBU's requirements and has also got a retractable roof, which is also quite, puts it in good stead. Would Newcastle be kind of good? Would it be a good one?
I think Newcastle would make a great host city. I have been to the Utilita arena, but I didn't go for a music event. I went for a tattoo convention and got a tattoo there. So
I love that.
I can't say what it's like as a music venue, but I lived in Durham for 6 years, which is basically right next to Newcastle. And I worked in Newcastle for 3 years, so I know the area really well. I've got a lot of friends up there, and the ones who are up there who are really into music say that it's a great venue. So I have no issue with the actual arena space. I think the city is incredibly vibrant. I think there are some really lovely spaces, sort of not within the city centre, but outside the city as well. So I'm looking at the sort of the Tynemouth, Whitby Bay sort of coastline is beautiful. It's a really lovely little area. The airport is very well connected as far as Europe goes. It's not great outside of Europe, but I mean, Europe is sort of the main people who will be coming over, so that's great. The metro's fantastic. I would love to see Jesmond Dean host the Eurovillage. I think that would be such a beautiful space for it. I mean, the arena is right next to the Pink Triangle, so you've got the Euro clubs right there. I think it would be great. I don't see it happening this time, but I'm not going to be upset in the slightest if that is what happens, because I think it would make a really nice little venue.
Yeah, I've never been to Newcastle before, but it looks so beautiful. Like again, my housemate actually is from Durham, so like she's like they've been there all the time. She's like, oh my god, like it's so pretty, and it does.
Yeah.
It is one of those cities that you just like do fall in love with, apparently, and not to mention as well. This is very much maybe a UK inside joke, but it's got a 24-hour drive-through Greggs. You can't say no to that. You can't say no to that.
When we're all like making our way home from Euroclub.
There you go. You've literally just got a good steak bake and you're there. You're fine. Oh no, but yeah. No, and to be fair, there was also the potential for there's also an arena being constructed in Gateshead on the other side of the river that is also due to be again like about 20,000 people due to be like capacity, but it wouldn't be finished in time.
Yeah.
So that also wouldn't be available. So alas, that's also a problem.
I mean, the Sage on the Gateshead side of the river is a gorgeous venue, but it's very much sort of classically orientated rather than a Eurovision pop concert style orientated.
Yeah, it would be a bit like having Eurovision at Albert Hall, basically.
Yeah, very much.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So the next one is kind of been it's a new one. Not really many people have kind of said it. Nottingham. So Nottingham is for those of you who don't know, it's a city sort of in the Midlands, and it's sort of known as the sort of home of Robin Hood, and that's kind of about it. So,
like,
yeah,
I think it does have an arena. I'm just going to check its capacity now.
Yeah, I mean, on the Wikipedia page, it says TBD that they've not selected an arena for their bid yet. So,
they only have one. 10,000.
Okay. I know very little about Nottingham, so I can't really say anything either way about it. They've got an arena that will host it, and it's reasonably accessible on public transport. I don't think it's got an airport off the top of my head. If it does, it will be quite a small one.
East Midlands Airport.
Pardon?
East Midlands Airport.
East Midlands Airport. So
yeah,
it's got a reasonably nearby airport. I don't really. I've been there for half a day, and most of that was to watch my friend do poetry shows. So I can't really tell you a whole lot about it aside from the fact that it's got a couple of good pubs.
Yeah, I've only passed through it because I had to change train when I was going to Cambridge from Manchester, and that was where I had to change my train. It has a very nice train station. I know that. It's very beautiful on that front, but that's about as much as we're getting from that.
That's as much as I know.
Yeah. But I mean, it seems like a nice place. Adam says the arena's the ice rink. They cover the ice rink when they have shows in, so that would make sense. Yeah. Saw League of Gentlemen there. Oh, very nice. Very good. I've never really listened. Like, they're artists, aren't they? They're like singers.
Oh, the League of Gentlemen are a comedy troupe. It's Reece Shearsmith, Steve Pemberton, and Mark Gatiss.
Okay, I do like Steve Pemberton. I can get in on that.
I'm a big Inside Number 9 fan, so yes.
Very good. Very good. But yes, so the next one, Sheffield. Now, Sheffield is the I would say, yeah, the capital of South Yorkshire, pretty much. It's the biggest city in the region. And yeah, so they will be trying to host it in the Utility Arena in Sheffield instead of what's it called? Instead of the one in Newcastle, basically. But yeah, what would you think of Sheffield hosting Eurovision?
I know.
Again, sorry, go for it, Jazzy.
City I know, even though I live very near Sheffield, it's a city I know very little about. I pass through it when I go to like London, or I come and see these guys, and it's nice. But that's kind of all like. It's nice, and I don't know how to say nice in a nice way, or as in. Oh, it's there. I don't really notice anything else about it. The capacity is ideal though. It's 13,600.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a good. I'd say for capacity, this is probably the one that's the closest to ideal of any of the arenas that we've spoken about so far. I don't know. I think again, it may have that thing that Birmingham has. In that it's quite central within the UK.
True. Yeah.
I don't know if the city itself is too small. I know they have a tram system in Sheffield.
The tram system's good.
Yeah. But is that
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those, it's an option, but it's an option that won't be popular with fans.
Yeah, I think it would very much be like, what?
It'd be like Massitrix. It's one of those, it's probably going to get quite far in the bidding just because, one, it's central, two, it has more than one transport system. But I think it'll be more like I can't even say the word. I can't even say the name of the city in the Netherlands that bidded.
Like Maastricht.
Yeah, I think it'll be like that. It'll get quite far in the bidding process because it has all the pros there. But
possibly
it's just not a city that it's not a city that's glamorous. It's not a city that's
it's not specifically
I'd go to the UK to go to Sheffield.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, if you were a snooker fan, then maybe
true.
But that's about it. So
and
yeah, you can see this being
an ice skating fan, as Helen will attest to now.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently Sheffield has a larger population than both Nottingham and Bristol.
Which means it's presumably got a larger population than the entirety of Iceland.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think it'll get quite far in the bidding process because the pros are there, but I don't think it would ultimately get chosen.
Yeah. What do you think, Rosie?
Yeah, Sheffield, I don't know hugely well. I went there for an academic conference once. The main memory I have of that day is that we'd had a massive surprise snowfall in the middle of March, and so the entirety of our public transport system had stopped working. Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well by saying that if you're going to come to the UK, Sheffield's not going to be one of those places on your list that you're generally very desperate to see. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the public transport system in the city is great. The arena sounds great. They've got a very nice CZs. That's as much as I could say. Again, I don't think there's an issue with it being hosted there. I just think there are better options. I think there are more interesting options. And
there's more glamorous options.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just feel like with all of the options that you've got available to you, I don't feel like Sheffield is the most interesting choice you could make. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if it were hosted there. I would just be like, okay, why?
Yeah. I think that's kind of
more. I think it's more that I'm thinking more along the lines of what the EBU is going to think.
Yeah,
and I do think the EBU will see there is more pros to Sheffield than there are cons, but ultimately we'll go for it because it's not glamorous.
Yeah,
I can see it still hanging around when there's like 5 cities left.
I think it's kind of, and maybe they might try and like they're trying to make. Sorry, I'm having a stroke. Basically, I think they would maybe try to keep it in the races almost for like a Mill Street effect kind of thing.
Ooh.
Like a complete outsider that might be like, oh, wasn't expecting that, you know? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like that, but
yeah,
I don't think it's practical.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being practical, we might as well just bundle these last two into thing. We've kind of spoke about them a little bit already, but Sunderland and Wolverhampton, the outliers of the group.
I mean, Wolverhampton's proposal of getting One Direction back together as an interval act knows that this is just a banter bid in the first place.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, did you see the, like, they also suggested at one point that they would host it in like their county like city hall, which has about a capacity of about 750. So it's like, yeah,
Oh my God.
are you ready to pop off at Wolverhampton City Hall? I love this.
Hey!
There'll be bigger Euro clubs.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it
like out of any no's that I have given to any cities, this is the hardest. No.
Yeah. Like of course it would be nice to have it in a city that not many people would know. Of course, that would be really good. I guess to sort of like, you know, get people out of the idea that, oh, you know, it has to be a big city. And, you know, we'd seen it with Mill Street back in the 90s, but, you know, Mill Street was a technological nightmare, like a technical nightmare, because it was like, how were they going to like, get all of the delegations? They didn't have enough like space to host all of the delegations, like in hotels, let alone like, you know, fans who would be coming. And then, you know, with Wolverhampton and Sunderland, like, again, yeah, they're there, but like, what else is there to do? You know, like, they're more satellite states, satellite sort of cities, as opposed to like cities in their own right, if you know what I mean.
I mean, Sunderland's got a nice beach, and there's the glass centre, and then I can take you to the classrooms I teach in. And actually,
you have one of them
Sunderland
have the
Theatre
Euro
is
Club.
really nice. And then outside of that, you're basically going into Newcastle.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that if Sunderland gets to host, where you're doing your classrooms is where Euro Club is going to be.
Yeah, basically.
I love that.
It's that, or it's going to be in the fucking Spoons.
Oh, do you know what though? That would also
a Euro cafe in a Spoons is kind of a must.
I try to I try to avoid giving Tim Martin as much attention as I possibly can, but also like that is such a quintessentially British experience.
It's so British. For people who don't know what Spoons is, it's basically like it's a pub brand that like, and every different pub is different, but they all serve the same food basically. And you know, they're known for basically having really cheap drinks. They're really known for like really poor quality food that they basically just microwave. And you know, but you go there, you get drunk, and you're off on your merry way. It's fine, you know. So you know,
they are an experience.
Yeah, definitely. So potentially, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, I really wouldn't think that this is going to be the place that we're going to go for, you know. So I guess because of all of that, if you were to pick your top sort of 5 for a long list, what would be your top 5 be?
I'm going to say Glasgow, Manchester, Leeds, Cardiff, and I'm going to say Newcastle, I think.
I would go Newcastle, Liverpool, Manchester, Glasgow, Leeds.
Okay.
Nice.
I'd go Glasgow, Manchester, Newcastle, London, and then let's just throw a mix in there. Let's just say Aberdeen.
Why not?
Why not? You know, 'cause it's possible. You never know. So that'd be quite interesting, you know. But yeah, so God, I just can't wait to have just a long list to come. It said it in the summer, which is hopefully supposed to be soon. So, you know, they said that it would be coming imminently. So fingers crossed we might get a bit more information kind of soon. So we don't have
hopefully when I think when we have a short list, I think we should come back.
Yeah, definitely.
Do another live stream. Because I feel like all our Host City stuff is going to be on YouTube rather than the podcast.
Yeah.
So you know when the Eurovision Twitter was like soon with the spinning pizza gif when they were about to announce the host city, what's the gif going to be to announce the UK host city?
A pork pie.
I'm not sure it's going to be a gif. It's going to be that picture that's basically like Renaissance art, but it's drunks in Manchester.
No, part of me was thinking it's gonna be pizza again, but it's gonna be like, you know, the Domino's tracker app. Like,
that's good.
Like, it's baking.
It's coming. It's here.
It's on its way.
What if it's just a Wetherspoons pizza?
Not even good. No.
They are about the only things that are made fresh there, and I know that because I have a friend who worked in Spoon's kitchens for about 3 years.
Like, it's gonna be like something. It's gonna be something like that, like something like the Uber Eats app. Like, it's coming soon.
And then you just never hear
Very
it.
soon.
Do you know what though? I'm not going to manifest it, but I am going to potentially say, given what the UK has been like in terms of just giving absolutely no information about anything, I would not be surprised until we got a host city in March. But
who needed to buy tickets anyway?
Yeah, no, you don't need that. It's fine.
Who needs to plan?
No, nothing for that. Yeah, but
so don't expect dates, don't expect host city, don't expect a logo, don't expect anything until February, because
buy
in
a
the
ticket.
UK, we do not plan.
Yeah, buy a plane ticket and just hope for the best.
Pretty much. Buy a plane ticket and pray. Or maybe buy a Eurostar ticket, because we love saving the planet, and being green is hot and being green is cool.
And being green is sexy as...
Oh.
Being green is sexy as... And then throw themselves into the crowd. And then injure people.
And then nearly die.
Yeah. Oh, no. But yeah, so yeah, obviously we've got a bit more of an interesting debate though to have first though before we sign off or anything. So Jazzy, we'll hand it back to you.
Okay, so we are quite versed with the UK presenters. Yes. Who would we like to see presenting the contest?
I have a ride or die choice, and it's Nikita Kuzmin from Strictly Come Dancing. I think he's wonderful. I think he's lovely. He's Ukrainian. He has been such an incredible ambassador for Ukraine during the last few months across British television, talking about his experiences, his family's experience, and all of that. His English is fantastic. He's probably the most well-known Ukrainian we have in the UK to the wider UK public. And I mean, if he's not included as a host, I think it would be great to see him as an interval act. We also have another Ukrainian pro on our version of Strictly, Nadia Bichkova, who I think would also be a great choice. I'm not 100% sure how great her English is. I think it's pretty good. And I think, again, she would be really great to have on the hosting panel. But yeah, Nikita is kind of my dream choice, because I just think he fits everything that would be ideal in a host. He's known to the UK audiences. He has that Ukrainian heritage link. He's really lovely, really personable, and I am going to be so sad if we don't get him now, because I can't think of anyone more perfect. Really, I can't. And so, and yeah, I would just really like
I think
to see that.
people have said this, that they would go for Nikita and AJ from Stripped Wig. She's a presenter, and she was on the same season that he debuted. She wasn't her celebrity.
Yeah.
But they know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think it'd be really nice. This is AJ Oduku, who she was our spokesperson.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love her. I think she's a great choice.
She's just vibes, and she's very northern. So I think if it was in a northern city, she would be brilliant.
Yeah,
and I think her and Nikita already knowing each other, possibly already having that friendship, would work as well. So they're the two I would go for.
I think for me the best thing to do it would have to be a little bit like how it was with in Turin, where they have like, you know, they each have like an equal stake in presenting jobs, but there's one person that is a little bit more geared towards the green room. So for me, it would be a mix. So I would have a Ukrainian host in there. For me, it would be Timur Miroshnichenko. He's already hosted Eurovision. He's done it in 2017. He's hosted Junior Eurovision twice as well in 2009, 2013. He's Ukraine's national commentator. Like, he's a very well-known face for Ukraine. And, you know, again, also, what we need to sort of realize is that, you know, we want to show off the fact that the UK does like Eurovision. And like, as much as we want this to be a Ukrainian show, we also have to show the fact that, you know, we're happy to be hosting it. We're having a good time. You know, that's what we're trying to do, right? So Timur Miroshnichenko would be a great person for that, because he's a great ambassador for Ukraine and just as a Eurovision presence, really. Now, I would have him host the show, but I would also have him host with a British person. And I would have, personally, I would like to see Emma Willis do it, because Emma Willis is a very, you know, well-respected, you know, presenter. She's done quite a lot of big shows, for example, Big Brother. She's done The Voice. She's currently doing something on ITV at the moment. I also think, you know, she's very, you know, charismatic, should I say. You know, she's able to have fun with it. And I think she would be a really good person to have it with. And then for the green room, maybe this is just me, because it's like we've met him, so we know what he's like, and he's so into Eurovision as well. Rylan, I think Rylan would definitely have to be a green room presenter. He gives the same basically the same energy as what Conchita Wurst would be like when she was a green room presenter in 2015. And, you know, she would, like, as she did it with, you know, Grace Decorum, all that kind of stuff, I feel like, you know, he would also approach it from the same angle. Like, yeah, we can have fun with it, but also make sure that, you know, we're trying to show it the respect that it deserves, basically.
Yeah. And as well as a fun presenter, he's a very good presenter as well. He's hosted some big shows. He's hosted like morning breakfast shows. So he's like, if you don't think he's well versed in hosting, he is.
Yeah. He's like, it's weird to think he's been around the circuit for about 10 years now. Like, he's been on Big Brother, he's been on This Morning, he's been on like Ready Steady Cook. Like, he's been across loads of different channels doing lots of different TV work, you know. So there's definitely, like, he is a lot more confident now behind the camera, and, you know, he's been one of the main driving forces in changing the UK's attitude with Eurovision anyway. Like, even for example, with how Scott Mills happened last time, like Scott Mills last year, he said stuff that was on the radio, on BBC Radio 1, the most popular radio station in the UK, and he was still bad-mouthing the contest, even though he's literally one of the semi-final commentators. Whereas Rylan would never have said a word about that because he knows how like popular that it is amongst fans. So, you know, he would give it some level of respect, I think. But yeah, so for me, my two picks would be Emma and Timur being the main hosts, with then like Rylan in the green room, but also having some additional hosting duties as well.
Yeah, I'm fully behind Rylan being involved in some way. I just think he's great. I think he's... Yeah, it's hard to say anything that you've not said already. I think he's just got... He knows how to present and to present well, but that he just has such a huge love for the contest. And I think that is so clear. And I think he treats it with so much respect. And that, to me, particularly in the UK media, quite frankly, is such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, genuinely.
Also, I've noticed that Angus has like popped in and said hi, and we've actually not said hi to Angus yet.
Oh, hi Angus. Sorry, haven't seen. How you doing? I'm just seeing it now. Verka would be an interval act because UK people love Verka.
Yeah.
Like, so it would be the same way that they were basically for you know, throwing that in, like as in how she was in 2017, when just like thrown in as a bit of a middle of the voting interval act kind of thing. So that would be interesting. And I need Mons Zelmerlöw to not be in this goddamn contest anymore. I need him to not be there. He's met with this contest for far too long. So no Mons, nothing.
Can we give him a Eurovision restraining order?
I personally agree. I would say so. Yeah.
See, I'm not the biggest like Mons Zelmerlöw stan. At the same time, it is nice to have a winner of the contest who actually still has a passion for the contest. Like, I don't want him anywhere near the UK version. If he stays with the Swedish stuff, I'm very happy with that. But I don't want to shit all over someone just because they actually still want to be involved in a thing that they have a bit of a love for.
Yeah. It'll have been 8 years, get over it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like genuinely, he already hosted You Decide in 2018.
Yeah, so, like that's as far as he needs to go when it comes to the UK.
And he's hosted Eurovision.
And he was on the Pointless special.
As was John Lundvik, to be fair, as well.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Is it too late for points?
Our team member Angus has actually sent in a few comments, so I'm just gonna mention them. Has anyone mentioned Connie Hook yet? I have not seen her since Extra Factor in 2010.
She literally dropped off the face of the earth. But I will.
Do you know who Connie Hook is married to?
No.
She's married to Charlie Brooker, the guy that does Black Mirror.
Really?
They've got kids, and the last I saw her was a video that he made as part of his I think it was Charlie Brooker's antiviral wipe, and he made a video of her attempting to homeschool their kids.
Oh my god!
And it as her Blue Peter presenter self, and it was fucking iconic.
Oh,
honestly, I love her. I just haven't I've not seen her present anything in ages, but she's fantastic, and I think she's great, and I would not scoff at her being a pick.
She's just funny. For people who don't know who Connie Hook is, she's the presenter. She's been in she started out on Blue Peter, didn't she, originally?
Yeah, that was her big break.
Yeah, so Blue Peter is like a children's show, obviously, that you kind of learn how to make.
Legendary. It's been running for about 50 years.
Yeah. So, that it's usually where a lot of people get their breaks, as TV presenters. She then went on to do the Extra Factor, which was the sideshow of the X Factor in the UK. And she was just so iconic on that. I will never forget when she was interviewing Wagner on stage and he was like, "I'm with God, so who's against me?" And she just grabs the mic and says, "Atheists." Like, I love her. I love her. She's so funny. But yeah, I don't know where she's gone, but yeah, I love her.
Angus also mentioned that when the UK hosts, we need to get Nigella Lawson in to do a food version of the Nikki Look Lab.
Oh my god!
Like
that would. I'm actually so here for this.
Would die. I would die. I need her to do. I'd be like
Nigella and Ryland, because Ryland does Ready Steady Cook. So
oh my god, that'd be
the
amazing.
two of them.
Hey, I mean,
yes, I'm 100% behind this.
Philomena Cautela, who of Eurovision 2018 fame, she did a lot of like the backstage stuff as well in 2018, as well as being green room presenter. So I would not discount that as a possibility. I would love that. She would just be there and she's like, how are you doing there, Noah? You having a good old time? Yes. Like, it would just be this. I would love it. It would be so funny and just iconic.
And maybe they're cooking like traditional English and Ukrainian dishes or something like that.
Yeah. Just the question of, can you come up with about 40 different types of British food, though? That's the question.
I guess they can just put things in sandwiches.
Cucumber sandwiches galore. That's about it. That and spotted dick.
If it tastes good, it's going in a sandwich, as my friend says. That's the British food rule. If it tastes good, it will go in a sandwich.
I like it. But yeah. Oh, bangers and mash in 40 variations. Yes, Angus. Oh,
I mean, bangers and mash is actually a really great title because there's bangers as in sausage and bangers as in songs.
Oh my god, I've just had a brainwave.
Yeah.
What? You know the postcards?
Yeah.
British meal foods, but making postcards out of food.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that would be good because you usually like at the minute. Because I guess the beauty of Eurovision again kind of helped us to realize that, like, see what other countries did with their postcards back in the day. And the last time that the UK hosted Eurovision, they did like flags in different places, like in people doing random, just like normal British things. That Swiss postcard in 1998 will forever haunt me. But like, so maybe, they could do like kind of just do typical British things or something, going down to the shops,
drinking cider at the park.
Yeah, or,
drinking a bottle of White Lightning behind the car park bench.
If that's not a quintessential British thing, what or I don't know, like if you really wanted to, or just like walk down Blackpool Promenade basically half drunk, and you're like,
I mean, that's the White Lightning thing is such a teenager thing to do. So imagine them getting like LPS to do that or something.
I would die. I genuinely would die. Oh, I love it. I think there's so many great options for the BBC to go down now. Obviously, they don't want to make it seem like they're
most of them involve alcohol of some sort.
Welcome to the UK with the drinking culture here, but yeah, but yeah, I love it. I think there's a lot of options for the BBC to go down here, and I really would like to see what they've kind of got up their sleeves, really. But yeah. I'm getting so excited now, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's just like, for me, it's like a year ago. If you'd have told me the UK will host Eurovision in 2023,
I've been like, who didn't want to host? How many countries dropped out before we did?
It's scary. Yeah.
Did all 25 countries who are in the final drop out?
You'd be like, sorry guys, it's been cancelled. That's it. The UK is hosting it anyway. I love it. It's so funny. Oh my god. There's so many things that I think the BBC can go down now. And like how we said, so there's going to be like some Ukrainian elements in here. Like what do you think those like Ukrainian elements might be then?
Okay, so I have a proposal on this one. And this is something that has been very much on my local news over the last sort of couple of months, that when the war broke out in Ukraine, there was a circus troupe from Ukraine over here called Circus Cortex. And over the few months since the war has been going on, some of their family members and some of their other troupe members have been coming over as essentially refugees. And I think they'd make a fucking awesome interval act. I would love to see something like that as one of the acts on that huge European stage. I think circus just generally is awesome, but also I think in terms of that Ukrainian cultural element to it as well, and I think it would be so meaningful as well. Just the entire story behind everything that's gone on, I think that would be amazing. And I mean, if it's held in Leeds or Manchester or Sheffield or somewhere else, sort of Yorkshire or Greater Manchester area, what a fantastic local connection as well. I would love to see something like that. So they are my proposal for an interval act that brings some Ukrainian culture to the table.
I would like to see I would like to see a lot of like past Ukrainian into like Eurovision artists come back, just to like, because like we know them and they can. I feel like they are like the best way to like spread the message across to Eurovision fans that this is still ongoing. This is still, and I feel like Eurovision fans would really, really get the message, and I feel like it would also be a way to give like thank these past Eurovision artists for giving us these songs. So we're going to give them the stage to showcase their art, which they're probably not able to do in their own country right now. And I just think it'd be a really nice touch. I would also like the Sam Kulush.
I think that's 100% happening now. Yeah.
And I would like to see it maybe debuted in the final. I know they want to debut it sooner, but I think now I just think it'd be our way. It'd be like I don't know. I just think it'd be like a nice way for us to not only say thank you to Kulush for like taking part, but also thank you to Sam, because I think Sam deserves he deserves his moment. Like, it's being hosted in our country, and I do think he deserves a moment for the UK fans to thank him. And I just think them coming together and performing together will show that sense of togetherness, to show that we're grateful for both artists, so that both artists can show their appreciation for each other. And I just think it'd be really nice.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it would be really good. And I mean, no one said they had to do only one song. To be fair, they could release this collaboration that they're doing now and sort of work on something else that could come out in May, maybe, because they've got really good styles that would probably blend in pretty well together. You know, like folk rock could get another whole Go Away situation on our hands here. You know, like it'll be the Go Away Måneskin cover that we never got. You know,
R.I.P.
Literally. Also, Angus has just thrown in a little something here as being, it would be such a tiny thing, but so cool if the little jingle melody that plays as the sort of intertitle between everything was based on a Ukrainian folk music or played on a Ukrainian instrument. Yes. That would be really good as well. Yeah.
Yeah. 100% here for this. Yes, I love it.
Like, get us a Pilka, get a Bandora, get something similar to that. It's just something that really shows off Ukrainian culture. I think that'd be really good. I think maybe like interpolating some of the interval acts as well. Like, obviously we're on about Eurovision and everything, so that would be good. But I think also maybe like adding in other things, so like Ukrainian food in like, you know, how to make that kind of thing. I think that would also be like a nice little touch as well, you know, so that people can realize, because this is gonna sound so Fox News, but genuinely, we like all of this will be part of a culture war against Russia. So like when the literal culture is being attacked and being, you know, potentially eradicated, a great way for it to kind of live on is to broadcast it to a wider audience so that people can feel, oh wow, okay, this isn't too bad. Like maybe I could try something like this, something similar. And promoting it to a wider audience, that's the whole ethos of what Eurovision is all about. So I wouldn't mind something like that. Or if there was something, maybe if there was something else, maybe I'm just trying to think like there's only so much that you can kind of do, I guess, because like you've got, the whole structure of the show is very like set, isn't it? You've got intro, little bit of spiel, then straight into songs, and then you've got like a bit of an interval act, then voting, all that kind of stuff. So,
and like I think you've also got to realize that unlike a lot of countries that are strict about ending times, the UK will be super, super strict because that in the UK we have like noise laws that you can't have a live show after 11:30 at night.
Maybe.
So like,
yeah.
I think the
if
difference
it's broadcast, though, it might be different, maybe because it's being like broadcast like on TV to a wider audience.
Would it? Because it's in an arena.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, again, it's been so different because obviously the last time that we hosted, like, we were all babies / not born yet. So we weren't really partial to any of this. So I think
it's like
yeah.
I just feel like it's something that needs to be taken into consideration when you think of final length.
Yeah.
That unlike a lot of countries, our laws on like stuff like this are really, really strict.
To be fair, I mean, after the abomination that was the 2019 final that went on for 4.5 hours, like I think there's been a bit more of a concerted effort to try and sort of keep it to between 3.5 hours, 4 hours latest. So yeah. Adam, was there 2 possible Birmingham venues earlier? No, there was only the one. They've since sort of released a whole bid now, and that's going to include the Resort World Arena, which is sort of halfway between Birmingham and Coventry. So like it's just kind of easier for them there. And then Angus also said, time to host it in a tent in the Welsh Valleys to circumvent any noise complaints. Is that what I'm hearing? Maybe.
And I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be down for hosting in the valleys.
We'll just go to Llanfair that like that's
2023
way of doing it, like who doesn't love it? So
like if we did that, we'd have to have hosts in like lessons learning to pronounce it. We'd have to have lessons now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you can probably just call it Llanfair PG, and then that's fine, to be fair. But people like to have it for the long name. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm really excited to see what they've kind of got up their sleeve, but I'm really hoping that they don't rest on their laurels, the BBC, instead of wait until January to start planning things, because maybe just for the sake of the Eurovision fandom itself, because I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but it very much frustrated me when people were getting annoyed that we didn't get a host city until September or October or something, when it's only because recently they've basically been getting quicker at sort of selecting it, because they're starting the process earlier because of how big the show is. And they constantly compare it to, again, Ukraine's hosting in 2017, that it was in a complete shambles and everything. It was there's a war going on, there's this thing that's happening, you can't force it. So I'm just hoping
a global fucking pandemic still going on, literally.
So I'm semi hoping
it's that, don't expect. I'll say this now, the UK currently does not have a government.
Yeah.
Do not expect to host before October. Do not expect to host it before October.
Well, I mean, they said a long list in the summer, so that'll be a good sign for that.
They said host city in the autumn.
Yeah.
So it will not be before we have a new prime minister in place. It won't.
I wonder if whoever gets DCMS will have any actual say over this, because that might be interesting.
Well, I mean, last time it was Nadine Dorries, and she said she didn't want it here. So Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
I don't think she's going to be.
I feel like the reason it's taken so long for it to be said the UK are hosting it is because of our political situation. Like, we had government ministers who were saying they did not want it hosted here, and then obviously he had to resign. Not he who shall not be named.
Lord Voldemort.
So now it can be hosted here because he's no longer in power.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think it'll impact too much, but
it won't impact too much on what happens. It'll impact more on when things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all know that the BBC loves to, take its time to be very, concise, very sure of what's going on. So,
I mean, with having said that, they have already had delegation meetings because Lee Smithhurst has been tweeting about them, posting about them.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
so we do know
they were.
I can't.
Lee Smith? I know where they were as well because.
Why were they in Leeds?
They were.
Ooh.
Because Lee Smith. I can't remember if I saved a screenshot, but Lee Smithhurst. He posted a photo of himself, not himself, of him looking, and he said the train destination was to Leeds. So I know they were. So I know they've happened.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So
I mean, to be fair, they are also like the BBC's has moved all of its Eurovision sort of stuff up to Salford now, which is Greater Manchester. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the north bit, for example, like either Manchester or Leeds, So yeah. You'll find out more in some future content that we are planning to be releasing over the next few weeks. So that'll be very, very interesting. But yeah. I'm excited, but I'm also really nervous because I just know what the fandom is going to be like. It's like, oh my god, because again, people were thinking that Italy was going to put on a fantastic show, and they were like, oh, it's going to be fine, they're going to do this, and then as soon as one thing goes wrong, it's like, how dare they,
I mean, to be fair to them, I feel like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
You literally had a host get COVID during the live show. How much more 2022 can you possibly get?
It was a crazy thing. And look, maybe
you know what we could be so thankful for?
What?
There will be no sun in the UK.
Don't say anything. Do not manifest anything because
to be fair, given the British weather, there will almost certainly be no sun. So if you're coming to the UK, please pack a raincoat, an umbrella, and a load of thick jumpers.
But if there is sun,
don't read it.
No.
I mean, if it's being hosted in Liverpool, that won't be a problem.
Oh, well, that's also true, yeah.
But I'm just going to warn you now, if there is sun, stay out of it, because it's very, very hot.
Well, I mean, it's hot for British people, but for Europeans, they'll think it's freezing, so it's it's fine.
I mean, without aircon.
I mean, the problem is that heat in Europe is very different to heat in the UK because everything here is just wet. When I can be in 35 degrees on the continent and I can be quite comfortable, but 30 degrees here, I am just drenched in water because it's just the humidity levels in this country are something else.
So yeah, I feel like the warning for anyone coming over: if it's cold, it's gonna be very cold. If it's hot, it'll be very hot.
Yeah. I mean, luckily it's going to be in May, and May is obviously not too bad. Sometimes you can have a couple of days. You can have a couple of hot days, but for the most part, it's usually about 20, 22 degrees or so.
Yeah, I'd say sort of 15 to 20, especially if you're in the north, is probably a fairly reasonable bet.
Yeah. But if it was down south, obviously, it's a bit warmer.
A little bit warmer.
Let's be a bit more to the continent, Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading. Adam said, former PM did say last week, President Zelensky and I agreed that wherever Eurovision 2023 is held, it must celebrate the country and the people of Ukraine. And now, as we are now hosts, the UK will honour that pledge directly and put on a fantastic contest for the half of our Ukrainian friends. And I mean, you know, the UK
right twice a day.
Yeah, UK is like one of the biggest people anyway that are supporting Ukraine anyway. To be fair, and like I mean, it's very well recognized anyway. Even in Ukraine, for example, like Volodymyr Ostapchuk, who was one of the hosts in 2017, is now a host of like a talk show in Ukraine, and they very they very much honor the UK quite often when it comes to like basically the support that they give for Ukraine. Saying that, there has been currently I don't know if it's going to be shown in Ukraine or anything like that, but there's been an interview between Volodymyr Zelensky and his wife and Piers Morgan that has just dropped. And I've had to like basically start telling people that Piers Morgan is not going to be your friend. Like, what? So it's the same way that he managed to get an interview with Donald Trump. So yeah, I don't understand it. But you know, that's Piers Morgan for you. Yeah, so that's not going to be great. And then Angus, is also just said, even the 2021 contest, which ended up going well, had a lot of fans complaining about, which, well, anything they could think of, really. So really be prepped for that if you're a UK Eurovision fan. It's all
right. I hate my country too.
Yeah. I mean, it's... I can't... Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I can't really say it because of... other things basically, but no. I think the organization should be fine, and if anything goes wrong, then like there'll be good reason for it to go wrong. So
it'll be the Tories. Blame the Tories.
There you go. It'll be fine. Oh my god. But yeah, is there any sort of other points that we want to kind of bring up just before we bring this to a close, maybe, or no?
I have some. Yeah.
What have you got?
Tell me. I mean, I've just got the wrap up.
Go for it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank Rosie and Rory for joining me on the live stream. Don't forget to give us a like on all our social media, that Eurovision site on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we've now got TikTok, which we're going to try to use more. Also, don't forget to give this live stream a like, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, that Eurovision site, so you get a notification whenever we go live or we release new video content, which we have some plans coming up for you. So
it's going to be very, very good. Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be a great 2023 season.
Yeah, and maybe it's just because it's very much so for us lot because we're in the UK, so we kind of now know what you guys have been feeling all this time. You know, finally, British people can be happy too.
Like we could embrace Eurovision.
Yeah, literally, not like we deserve it though, to be honest.
No.
But you know, we're just gonna take what we've got and we're gonna run with it. It's gonna be fine. You know, but it's been lovely to sort of discuss the host city thing. I think we'll definitely be doing a lot more sort of streams as things go on and like more news, especially with the sort of host city thing comes out, because there's no way in hell we're not going to be able to sort of keep on top of it, of course. So I'm excited. I'm so interested to see what like the logo is going to be, the slogan's going to be, because they did say that that the logo will incorporate the current situation of staging. So that'll be interesting to see what that's going to be like. And then the slogan will obviously have a very strong meaning to it as well, which, I mean, it always usually does anyway. So I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
I'm excited and cannot wait.
It's going to be lovely. Fantastic. Right. So shall we say goodbye?
Bye.
Fantastic. See you later, guys. Bye. Just end it then, and we can